Hello everyone, and welcome to my bold and the beautiful spoilers. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. This is what the strong and the lovely's leather treater Novlan gained from Mrs. Supernatural Occurrence. Fanatics of the intense and the wonderful star leather treater Novlan are intimately acquainted with his inclinations on account of his virtual entertainment posts. He's common vacations to baseball and hockey games, and, surprisingly, as of late uncovered his requirement for speed, sharing pictures and recordings from his outing to the Recipe 1 race in Las Vegas. The bustling entertainer likewise has another Christmas film coming up and took in a couple of things while shooting it. There's a quandary to be tackled. Novlan's new task is a film for Trademark named Debbie Macomber's cheerful Mrs. Supernatural Occurrence, part of a film series adjusted from the books by Macomber. Mrs. Emily Merkel is a Mary Poppins-type character who assists people with her sorcery. In the film, three kin are in a problem attempting to conclude which one of them will acquire their late grandma's home, and it depends on Mrs. Wonder and her Christmas wizardry to take care of them sort things. Novlan talked with Advanced Diary about his new film and energetically expressed, "I'm truly invigorated so that everybody might see it, and to look at it. Everybody needs a little Mrs. Supernatural Occurrence in their lives." Novlan made sense of what he gathered from the story, commenting, "This content instructed me that occasionally, the responses are nearer than they show up, and all we perhaps need is a little Mrs. Marvel in our lives to see that." He further noticed that Mrs. Wonder skillfully removes feelings from the issue to focus on the root issues, and does it competently. "I like that approach, so perhaps I ought to rehearse that," was the entertainer's focal point. The film debuted on Trademark on Thanksgiving Day, and Novlan felt that was an extremely fitting introduction date. He cherished everything about the creation, referring to it as gorgeous and commenting, "It's a Trademark film, so it generally has the incredible sparkle lights behind, and it's truly enchanted." Plays a person named Austin, and of his co-star Rachel Boston, who plays the title character, he lauded, "Rachel Boston is extraordinary as Mrs. Supernatural Occurrence." Leather treater Novlan, referred to for his job as Dr. John Finnegan on The Strong and the Delightful, has been exhibiting his adaptability as an entertainer by spreading out into endearing occasion films. His most recent venture, Debbie Macomber's Blissful Mrs. Marvel, is a Trademark Christmas film that mixes family show, sorcery, and the soul of the time, providing fans with a brief look at a job that is both engaging and captivating. The entertainer's appearance on the undertaking uncover what he's realized and how it's additional profundity to his own and proficient excursion. The film bases on three kin confronted with a difficult choice, figuring out which of them ought to acquire their late grandma's valued home. Enter Mrs. Emily Merkel, tenderly known as Mrs. Supernatural Occurrence, whose uncanny capacity to sprinkle a little occasion sorcery disentangles the profound bunches, restricting the family. With her remarkable point of view and a bit of eccentricity, Mrs. Supernatural Occurrence is the way to assisting the kin with seeing the responses that were directly before them from the start. During a meeting with Advanced Diary, Novlan got serious about what he gained from the story. He noticed that Happy Mrs. Marvel stresses the significance of venturing back and checking out at life's problems from an alternate point. "Now and again, the responses are nearer than they show up," he commented, adding that Mrs. Supernatural Occurrence's capacity to eliminate profound predisposition and spotlight on the pith of the issue was a methodology he respected and wanted to integrate into his own life. This smart reflection features obligation to self-awareness and his receptiveness to gaining from his jobs. Novlan communicated his energy for crowds to encounter the film, depicting it as a quintessential Trademark creation loaded up with wonderful visuals, shimmering lights, and an otherworldly climate. He shared his reverence for his co-star, Rachel Boston, who depicts Mrs. Supernatural Occurrence with appeal and artfulness. Plays Austin, a person profoundly associated with the family's home predicament, and he lauded the cooperative energy on set, referring to the creation as lovely and an ideal counterpart for the warm and nostalgic energy of Thanksgiving weekend. One of the champion components of the film, as per Novlan, is the manner by which Mrs. Supernatural Occurrence assists individuals with tracking down lucidity by isolating feelings from the center issues. This resounded with the entertainer, who valued the straightforwardness and class of her methodology. In a world frequently blurred by pressure and overthinking, the film's message fills in as a suggestion to confide in the force of viewpoint and the wizardry of association. The film appeared on Thanksgiving Day, a conscious decision that Novlan tracked down fitting for its subjects of appreciation, family, and compromise. As watchers got comfortable after their vacation feasts, they were blessed to receive a story that typifies the delight and marvel of the Christmas season. Fervor for the debut mirrors his enthusiasm for narrating that elevates and rouses. From drama star to occasion number one. While the striking and the delightful fans anxiously anticipate Finn's next storyline, they can appreciate seeing leather treater Novlan in this happy and ardent job. His capacity to consistently change from sensational drama curves to the vibe-grade appeal of trademark films highlights his reach as an entertainer. Depiction of Austen carries validness and warmth to the person, making him an ideal fit for the supernatural universe of Mrs. Wonder. For those missing their number one dramas over the lengthy Thanksgiving weekend, Trademark's vacation programming offers a brilliant method for remaining associated with recognizable countenances like Novlan. His contribution in Happy Mrs. Wonder guarantees that fans can in any case partake in his ability and mystique, even while the striking and the lovely takes a short break. With his part in Euphoric Mrs. Wonder, Leather Treater keeps on extending his points of view, demonstrating that his ability rises above classifications. As fans tune into the film, they'll not exclusively be blessed to receive an inspiring story yet additionally to an exhibition that typifies the genuine soul of special times of year. Whether he's carrying show to daytime TV or spreading holiday spirit, Novlan stays a star worth watching. Euphoric Mrs. Wonder is important for a cherished series of movies adjusted from Debbie Macomber's books. At its center, the film investigates a family situation, three kin grappling with the choice of who ought to acquire their late grandma's treasured home. As feelings run high and choices appear to be unimaginable, Mrs. Emily Merkel, warmly named Mrs. Wonder, steps in. With her mysterious touch and sharp knowledge, Mrs. Marvel assists the family with finding clearness and resolve, demonstrating that arrangements frequently lie nearer than they at first show up. In a real meeting, Novlan shared what he realized while recording this mystical occasion story. He pondered the content's key message, expressing, "This content instructed me that occasionally, the responses are nearer than they show up, and all we perhaps need is a little Mrs. Marvel in our lives to see that." For Novlan, the experience supported the significance of venturing back, confining from close-to-home predispositions, and zeroing in on the center of any issue, an illustration he saw as both significant and material to reality. Novlan depicted the shooting experience as really charming, noticing the marked trademark contact that causes each situation shimmer with warmth and delight. From the shimmering Christmas lights to the genuine associations between characters, the creation typified the soul of the time. He commended the film's visual and profound allure, referring to it as lovely and an ideal fit for its Thanksgiving Day debut. Playing Austen, one of the kin ensnared in the legacy difficulty, Novlan wound up an extraordinary organization on set. He praises his co-star Rachel Boston, who brings Mrs. Wonder to existence with appeal and effortlessness. Portrayed Boston as incredible, cheering her capacity to convey Mrs. Marvel's insight and warmth, making her the close-to-home anchor of the story. One of the champion parts of Mrs. Supernatural Occurrence's personality, as Novlan brought up, is her capacity to isolate feelings from the main concern, taking into consideration more clear and more caring navigation. This approach resounded profoundly with him, moving him to take on a comparable viewpoint in his own life. "I like that approach, so perhaps I ought to rehearse that," he shared, featuring the functional insight implanted in the film's story. The decision to debut Euphoric Mrs. Wonder on Thanksgiving Day added an additional layer of importance to the film's subjects of appreciation, family, and association. Novlan felt the timing was great, as it permitted crowds to change from special festivals to a story that epitomizes the glow and sorcery of the time. From daytime show to occasion appeal, while Novlan is most popular for his emotional circular segments on The Strong and the Delightful, his job in Happy Mrs. Supernatural Occurrence grandstands his adaptability as an entertainer. Whether he's exploring a mind-blowing intricacies or encapsulating the soul of Christmas as Austen, Novlan carries profundity and appeal to his characters, making him a champion ability across types. For enthusiasts of daytime cleansers missing their #1 shows over the drawn-out Thanksgiving weekend, Trademark's vacation contributions gave a great other option. Novlan's presence in Blissful Mrs. Marvel guaranteed that crowds might in any case partake in his charm and ability, even while the striking and the delightful took a short delay. As watchers embraced the wizardry of euphoric Mrs. Wonder, they were helped to remember the significance of viewpoint, the force of association, and the delight of tracking down arrangements unexpectedly. For Novlan, the film was something other than a job. It was a chance to share a little occasion trust and motivation with fans all over the place.